I'm David.
Hi, I'm Johnny, and this is Table Talk. We created this space to invite conversations that impact our community.
We wanted to influence you, yes, you, in a way where whether you're positive or negative, anyone can relate. So come along on this journey with us and let's think,
Grow
and learn
together.
When we think about disclosure, we always think about how to tell our status to someone we're interested in dating, someone that we're interested in beginning a long-term relationship with. But what about telling the people that we love the most that's been there with us no matter what, like our family and friends? I know when I told my family, it took them on a whirlwind of emotions, and they all had the same distinct questions. 1, how long have you known? 2, do you know where you got it from? 3, how do you feel? And I wanted to answer the questions to them that would make them comfortable enough to continue to ask questions, because I wanted to provide as much education as possible. So I answered their questions. Of course, it didn't make receiving the news any easier, but at least they were hearing it from me. They were getting it from my point of view, and I wanted them to know that I'm okay, that I'm under great care, that I'm doing the things that I need to do to continue to be virally suppressed, and that they really had nothing to worry about. But if I had any suggestions for family members that were on the other side receiving the information from someone who is HIV positive, I would guide their questions more. I would say, ask questions like, how can I support you? What do you need from me to make sure that you are the healthiest possible? Those are some questions, and those are some things that I would kind of make sure that everyone involved in the conversation knows exactly what's going on, and that there are no places or no room for anyone to feel slighted, for anyone to feel like their opinions don't matter. But I wanted to, again, make sure that they had all of the information that they needed. I was under great care. They needed to know that as well. And it helped that they were hearing it from me versus a medical provider. So when you're going to disclose to family members and people that you love and people who say that they love you, make sure that you understand that they may not have the education that you have about HIV. And be ready to provide those educational moments and those educational tools that will help them help you live your best life.
So disclosure for the HIV negative person always looks a little different than it does for the HIV positive person. For me, I think it was a phone call that I got one day that it was a family member who had reached out to me and said, oh my God, your uncle read an article online that your partner is HIV positive, and they got together with their other brothers and sisters, and they were all very concerned and worried about you, and they just wanted to make sure that you knew. And I stopped and thought about that, and I was like, well, if they were so concerned, no one picked up the phone and called me directly. And I think sometimes that's where stigma comes from. When we talk about HIV and when we talk about this virus, a lot of times people start to write and tell their own stories instead of really getting educated and understanding what this virus is and what it is not. For me, I think the advice that I would give anyone in the seat that I'm in, I take responsibility for not coming right out and sharing with my whole family, my partner is HIV positive. That's no one's business. But since we've gotten this platform and we're sharing and educating around the country, I think that it would have been a little bit different if I would have said, hey guys, my partner is positive, he's in great care, and we're doing just fine. And I think that education is what we still have to lead with. There's still so much miseducation around the whole topic of HIV and AIDS. And again, for me, I think that if I could give any advice, get educated. Learn what it is, learn what it's not, learn about medication adherence. You know, my partner, every time we go somewhere, he talks about how he hates that I remind him daily to take his medication if he forgets. But I think that's just a part of me doing my job as being his other half and making sure that he's living the best life that he can live.
So one more question that has always been raised whenever I disclose my status, especially when disclosing the status to my family, was when did you tell them? And it took me a while, it took me years to tell them, and everybody would like to know what took you so long. And my advice to anyone who is battling with disclosing their status to their family and loved ones is wait until you are comfortable. Wait until you are comfortable enough with your status to be able to share it and provide the educational tools that they'll need on the other side.
I think I definitely agree with that too, because one of the components that we don't speak enough on is when you say wait till you can handle sharing that news, because there is a mental health side to disclosure to HIV, and we have to address that. And I definitely feel you have to be in your healthiest place first before you can, because you don't know what that reaction is going to be from the family member. And then if we're not careful, or if you're not careful, it can put the person who's positive right back at that diagnosis or being at the table when they were diagnosed.
Right.
And so the mental health side, I think, is a big portion. Maybe in a video we'll tackle that one later, but I think that's a very big, important fact.
But that's what we think. We always want to know what you think. You can always email us at officialdavidandjohnny@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at David and Johnny.
Check us out on our YouTube, David and Johnny.
We can always be found right here on pause.com and appreciate the platform so much that we can continue to bring you great and intriguing content. We'll see you next time right here at the table.
See ya.